Welcome back everyone, it's Stephanie from My Porch Prints, and today we are continuing to work on this journal. This is from a journal kit in my Etsy shop. It's called Forgotten Diary, and we went ahead and put a cover together, and now we're going to start working on some of the pages. So this kit comes with some printable journal pages, and what I did was I went ahead and folded them. I cut them out, folded them, and then I even took a lighter and I burnt some of the edges. I did this over the kitchen sink. So I just, took a lighter like this and just, put it on the edge of the paper and then blew it out really quickly. And that gave me this kind of burnt look on some of these pages. And I interspersed these with some purchased handmade paper and also some purchased coffee dyed paper. Oops, this page is upside down. That's always something good to check before you put your journal together, that your pages are right side up. So anyway, what I did was I folded the pages and interspersed them with these handmade and dyed papers. And I put them into signatures of 4 pages each. And if you're new to journaling, a signature is just a group of folded pages. And the journal that we're going to be making today is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signatures. And again, each of these just has a few pages, about 4 pages each. And I also just included some smaller things like an envelope. I went ahead and put that in with my pages. And then, I don't know where it's at, but I also have a doily in here somewhere. Oh, we'll find that later. But so yeah, if you want to add some things in with your pages, now's the time to do it. And some people like to decorate their pages before they sew them into their journals, but I'm going to go ahead and just sew these in first, and then we'll decorate later. And in addition to the pages, I've got these inside covers, and where these are going to go is inside the book cover. So once we put our pages in, we'll put these inside the book cover. And these are just printed on cardstock. And what else? So to do my pages, I've got this hidden spine, and it probably looks like a big old mess right now, but it's actually going to be very helpful. And this is from a printable kit in my Etsy shop, and it's also a freebie in our Facebook group, the My Porch Prints group. I'll put links down below to all this stuff. But this is the 2-inch spine, and I made it to coordinate with the 2 inches here. And it's actually just a little bit bigger, so I'm not sure how that worked out. I might have hit a print setting that made it print not quite right. But so we're going to sew our signatures into this spine, and then we're going to sew or glue this spine into our journal. It'll all make sense in just a little bit, I promise. But what I wanted to do was hide the white part of this on both sides, because this is supposed to be an old forgotten journal, and bright white doesn't really go with that. So I antiqued it using just some Distress Oxide and a sponge. And since these creases are probably going to show through these gaps in my journal spine, I wanted to make sure that they were inked as well. So I've got a bookbinding kit here. Let's see if I can show it to you. And this is a handy little thing to have if you like to sew journal pages in. And don't be afraid if you're new to sewing in journal pages. It's actually pretty simple. And you can do it, just as quick as anything else, I think. So don't be afraid. It's not hard. This kit comes with wax thread and big old needle. And we're going to go ahead and do what's called a pamphlet stitch. It's really simple. It's pretty basic. And the reason that I have this little kit available is because it makes it just easier. You don't have to do a lot of measuring. And it comes with this piece. And what we're going to do today is open up our signatures to the middle page. And we're going to put this piece in here and mark the holes where they're punched out. And then that's going to help align it with the holes on the spine, so we don't have to do a lot of measuring. And the way I punched my holes out on this was with my crocodile. It has a small punch setting, but if you don't have one of these, if you don't want to invest right away in junk journaling, you can just use, like one of these needles to punch your holes out if you want to, or an awl, or some other small sharp object. So don't feel like you have to buy all the stuff. You can start slow and work your way up if you want to. So today we are going to get these pages put into this journal. So before I do this, I want to just, again, make sure your pages are right side up because it's really easy to mess that up. And just align them how you want them aligned. And I like to go ahead and clamp them so they don't move once I'm cutting holes. And you take this piece that comes with the hidden spine kit and line it up inside your journal page. And mine's just a little bit bigger than this page, so it sticks out the bottom and top. So I'm gonna try to get it as close as I can to centered. And then what I wanna do is just mark these 3 holes right in the crease of my pages, just like that. And then I'm going to come along with my crocodile, but again, you can just use a needle or some sharp object to poke these holes. And what I'm gonna do is try to line these up the best that I can and just punch out these holes. And even when they're clamped, they don't always come out perfectly on the spine, but they're pretty close, so that should do. And that's our first signature. And then we'll just repeat that for all the rest of the signatures of pages. And when you've got something inside of your signature, like a doily or a envelope or card or whatever, you want to make sure that it catches at least 2 of these so that it can get sewn into the journal properly. So I like to just double check that it's going to catch a couple of these, and see it's kind of like just on the edge. So what I'm going to do is actually move it down, and hopefully that'll catch the bottom 2 holes, and then it'll at least be mostly sewn into the journal that way. Okay, so now I've got my pages punched. I'm going to see if there's any particular order that I want these signatures in. I don't think it's too important, but I kind of like this as the opening page, so I might go ahead and just put that at the front. So, to sew our signatures into our hidden spine, I've got this wax thread. And what I want to do is make it 2.5 times the length of my spine. So I've got 1, 2, and then just about a half there. And I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle. And these are nice big needles, so if you're kind of blind, you don't have to worry too much. Like me, I can't see close up anymore. And what you want to do is take your first signature of pages, your first group of folded pages, and line it up with these first sets of holes right here on this left side. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through this middle hole first from the back and come out right here through the middle. All right, and we're gonna leave this tail hanging out the back right here. And then we're going to come down to this, let's see if I can show you here, this bottom hole and out through the back. And then we're gonna go all the way up to the top hole. If I can find it. There we go. we're gonna go, oops, there we go. And we're gonna go back out through the middle. Just like this. And then I just pulled my needle off of my thread. And so you should end up with 2 tails hanging out of this middle hole. And what we want to do is put those on either side of this long piece of thread right here. So there's one on this side and one on this side. And we're going to pull it good and tight and make sure it's not loose on this side. And that's kind of got that guitar string tension. And we're going to tie a knot. And that'll tie it to this string here. And I like to tie a triple knot because if you have your page signatures come out after you've made your journal, it really is hard to fix. So I triple knot that, and then I just cut off the extra, leaving about 1 inch or so, 1.5 inches maybe, right there. And that's our first signature of pages. And we're going to repeat that with the next set and the next set and the next set, and then we'll have all of our pages tied in. Okay, so we've got our signatures sewn in to our hidden spine piece, and I'm going to go ahead and just unclamp them. And then I want to take a quick look to make sure that they're all right side up and make sense before we sew them in to our journal cover. Okay, and I think those look pretty good. So now we're going to go ahead and attach them inside our journal. And to do this, we're going to line them up with the spine, and then we're going to glue down the flaps onto the front and back cover of the journal. And then we're going to take these pieces cut from the kit, and we're going to just use them as covers for your Okay, so let's unclamp these pages. And take a look. Some of my strings are poking out the back here. I may have to snip those off a little bit. So let's take a look inside. In our next video, we'll start decorating some of the pages. Thanks for watching, guys.